Good evening and welcome to the holiday. Yep, we're into the Memorial Day holiday type markets, getting a rally in the stock market. And today is, by the way, Thursday, the 26th of May, 2022, 5:25 or so in the afternoon. So we have been down hard 7 weeks in a row. In front of a holiday, you would think you get some short covering, and it's developing. Now, some traders will say it's a bottom. Other traders are going to say that the bonds in the note market, they've had it. That market got up too high, and that was it. Frankly, nobody knows. That's the simple part of it. We know we've got 2 rate hikes coming, June and July. June is right around the corner here, so you're going to get your first rate hike then. We're going to get some employment numbers later next week. We want to see how that is. Is the labor market staying strong or weakening? Energy prices were on a tear today, and you're really coming down fairly hard from hitting up 940 something in natural gas back down to 882. I am walking on a cloud because I had some important clients in that market. They had asked me where I thought it was going, and I was picking 930s, and I feel they did very well. In the metal markets, trying to hold on at the expense of the dollar. Now, many people think we have seen the top of the dollar. I'm one of those joining into that parade. That might have been it. I've been waiting to see if the weekly chart would give me a reason to get along with the daily. The daily action's already oversold, down, been in a downtrend. But it's the weekly I was worried about. And what the weekly's doing is it had been embedded, it's losing it. And if it stays just the way that it is, it stays lost, and the odds favor could be another 190 points on that chart to the downside. So I think that those are the elements that are at work. When you look at the S&P, we're up 4% for the week. Let's not applaud it. Okay, we need to get off these lows. Nobody wants to see everybody's wealth go into the toilet. I haven't changed my camp. I'm still in the bear camp, but I don't want people to get hurt. And I know most people don't understand trading at all. They're just sitting with their portfolio because my buddies call me and they go, oh my God, do you know what I'm losing? I understand. But they don't want to tell me what they were making for 10 years. Got to remember, everything's relative. Got to learn to take money off the table. So as I look at the market, getting a bit of a bounce. If we come over to the daily charts, okay, coming from the thralls of death, I think that's the way to call it. Let's see where we're at now here. You have a pattern of higher lows, higher highs. You didn't get that today. You started developing that right here. It's funny that moves on this one. In the metal markets, that didn't move at all that way. I can't figure out why it does that. When we take a look at where the markets are, you're over the 18-day average and the swing line's up. The trend is up. Is it a tradable up? I have problems with that. If you buy it at, let's say, just here at 4,012, you got to have a stop back at 3871. That's 140 points. On a futures contract, that's $7,000. No, I don't think it's tradable. I think it's the end of a down move that I talked about yesterday, not today, and the market's carrying through. Okay. When you come over and you look at where the market could be headed, well, maybe it's the upper Bollinger Band at 4209, but that's 152 points away. I don't know. That's a big move if you ask me to expect, and you're already getting overbought. Suffice to say, I can see the argument the traders are making that the market needs to correct after 7 weeks down, not going for that 8th all-time week. Beyond that, no, I have not joined into anybody's camp on the bullishness. I'm out of the bear camp. I have not joined the bull camp. Is that fair enough to say? In the NASDAQ, it's the same thing. You rallied enough today to take out. Remember, prior to today, you refused to get over this high. When you did it, just like the other markets, you've broken again the pattern of lower highs, lower lows. The resistance should be the 18-day average. That's the line in the sand, and it's right where you went. When we take a look together at the Dow had been, and I want to use the word had been, up until today, Look at how the market's been fighting. Now, each time we've gotten to that 18-day average, it has failed. You got over it today. Can it stay over it? If it can, there's further coming. More important than that to me is with this, you broke this pattern of lower highs, lower lows. So it joins the league of the other markets. Out of the downtrend, I am not convinced you're in big uptrends, not at all. And I think even the bulls will say, maybe we've seen a low, but I doubt that you're in an uptrending market. And I think that's basically what you have. Same in the Russell. Barring today, whoops, I can't get it to work, I'm sorry. But barring today's action, if you back today out, you finally got over for the first time today the 18-day average. You're no longer in the bear pattern of lower highs, lower lows, and that's about it. In the VIX, can you extend the break to get into the main support at the 100 and the lower Bollinger Band, and even possibly the 200? Well, if you do, you're going to kick up the stock market even more. This is a false rally if the market gets back over this high here of 3107. We then take ourselves and we look at the bond market. You've got the pattern of higher lows. You have the higher highs. That part of the market is certainly in the bullish part. You can see how the market with the slow stochastics, I'm sure this will give, oh, it's working. So to my amazement, I know what I had to do. I made a change just before we shot this. And if I don't log out of the software and back in, this happens. And I wanted to get this done. But not embedded there. Day one of embedding was today. Maybe you get to day two tomorrow. That's not enough to get me excited. It's just an overbought market. I told you as it hit the Bollinger Band 2 days ago, I think the pros were coming out. When we take a look at the 10-year, you got up in these days right here to it. I think it's going to slip back, but is it embedding too? So let's see how many days we have here. If I can get it. There we go. All right, day one of embedding is Wednesday. Today, remember, is going to be, we're already in Friday trade. So day one were both numbers over 80. Day two was Thursday. Now, if it's going to embed, it's got to have a strong day tomorrow. Not saying it can't happen. Then if you embed, I think you start the buying mode on the breaks again. If you don't embed, you're probably going to nosedive back at minimum to the 18-day average of closes. The jury's out. Let's see what it does. In the dollar index, bearish, staying bearish, oversold. The weekly chart is losing its embedded reading. I looked at it before we did this. That could set this market up under the 100 level if it's going to hit any of its objectives. So I'm still very much in the camp that is thinking the dollar has peaked and these other currencies are going to rally against it even further. Not a surprise to me as they're the ones now coming on board. Oh, we're going to do more rate hikes. We're going to end our programs. The U.S. has already done that. So it's where you're at in the cycle, and they get a little more excited about the new opportunities that presents to their markets. Like the euro, they're going to get away from negative interest rates. How many years has it been? Unbelievable. It'll help their economy. People actually make some money on interest. In any case, the market's overbought into the Bollinger Band top. When I look at the British pound, you saw today, if you didn't, they have decided to help people because of the energy costs, the lower income people, and they're going to give them basically £650, a combination of payments for energy, checks, and then maybe some pension. They're working this all out. It'll come from the energy company supplying the energy to the UK via a 25% surcharge on what? They haven't said what the threshold is to charge over. But, once you put these taxes on, they don't easily go away. You got to remember that. Politicians have a way, well, we put it on for that, but, this money's there anyways. Why don't we just use it going forward after this? Got it. I see this living in Chicago. We don't even own our parking. Are you aware that if you come to the city, you put your money into the meters, you pay electronically today? The city doesn't own the parking. Mayor Daley in his bright wisdom sold that. We don't own the Chicago Skyway. That Macquarie owns. I can go on and on, the craziness that goes on in a mismanaged city like Chicago. In Bitcoin, lower highs, lower lows, okay. Can the market get itself up and through that number? If it does, you still get to the 18-day average. But what has been happening is the market has gotten itself where the average is dropping. So it's the average dropping the price, not price running up to the average. A terrible part. When I looked at the market, it lost its embedded reading back here. And if you go all the way back when it lost it, just to give you an idea of the theory here, you lost the reading, right? You're at 36,516. So I'm looking for price and the 18-day average to come together. Because price didn't do anything, the average is falling. Look at this. Just keep watching how much it's giving up. So eventually the work will be, I think, correct in that the embedded reading will cause price in the 18-day average at what number? Too much time has gone by to sit in a trade like that. In Brent versus WTI, the market's sort of stuck here at this 3.25 area, just sort of playing around back and forth. You went back up today in Bollinger Band, right up to that band. Where'd the market stop? Right there. You're working on embedding. You can get another level here. I've been telling people you could go to 130. I know they were laughing at me. I said, the chart action is there. It could happen. You just missed hitting the upper Bollinger Band. Let it embed, and I'm going to be thinking you're getting up to those numbers. Gasoline, okay, you hit the Bollinger Band, you pulled back, restructured here. You are overbought. How high can you go during the season is going to be the question. You know, you'll say, well, Memorial Day's come and gone, gas falls. That's not necessarily true. This is the big driving season. This is the tip-off of it. It's like you say to me, we've got the playoffs of basketball. You get one game. No. Whether you win one or two, you got to get through the whole series on both sides to get to the finals. Well, that's pretty much what the driving season is like in the summertime. It just keeps coming at you. Last in the nat gas, you get up to a Bollinger Band after this run, you're not embedded. I think the pros dumped, said goodbye, and I think they'll wait and see if it embeds, then they'll look at it again. There is a number where it's too high. I don't know what the number is, but there's a number where it starts getting too high. 9.5 is getting up there anyway that I want to look at it. You know, we talk about all these indicators, and I want you to understand. I helped years ago put together for Modern Trader Futures Magazine at that time, these booklets. And then with their permission, I said, I want them back because I want to push them out because I think they're phenomenal of what they are. And what we did is we worked on creating a way to get different people around the country writing articles that made sense in terms of we chose which people had good explanations of how the spreads work, Elliott, Fibonacci, examples. That's the Arun indicator, by the way, price-time relationships. Options, how do you work with that? So if you watch me and you're not up on all this is a great primer. I mean, I had my hand on it, so I know that I like it a lot. You can either go to our website under free offers, or you can just take your cursor. If you're up on a computer screen, just move it to the top here. You'll see an icon, click on it, and away you go. I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. I don't know what day I'm going to record the weekend version. I do intend on getting it out. I'd like to get it done tomorrow, so we'll see if I can get that done right after the markets, and then I'll use the remainder of the weekend to put out the subscribers weekend edition that you don't see here on YouTube of 40 charts for ETFs and futures. I'm Ira. You have a great weekend, good holiday, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Take care.